Hi there. We're going to talk today about the Ketel1 Nitro-Dispenser, which is mostly used in North America. This is a troubleshooting video for the operator to identify potential problems or give some indications, some help, some support to resolve or identify and resolve problems. So first, what is this machine about? So it looks like it's branded like Espresso-Martini Ketel1. And on the type plate that you can see here, so there is written ND-20-01-02-DI. So as I said, mostly sold in North America. It's a machine running on 150 voltage, 370 watt. Weight is 22 kilogram. So the machine utilizes the nitrogen in the air. So there is no external nitrogen bottle required. And the flow rate here, the standard flow rate is like 600 milliliter per minute. The cooling buffer in the machine is about 400 milliliters. So before talking about the topics or the issues with or potential issues with the machine, please make sure that you check the electrical power. Electrical power means the power cord must be firmly plugged in, so this one must be really tightly in, and the nitro switch here, the pressure switch, must be switched on. So these are the two requirements that, let's say, the machine is working or is ready to dispense. Okay, you should hear some sound. So this sound is the air compressor. Okay, it's this sound is the cooling compressor. As you can, it will stop after a while. It has reached the target temperature. And this rattling here, okay, we need to dispense a little bit. Sorry. This rattling sound is the air compressor. Okay, when the machine has electricity, it makes these two noises. So talking about foam, I show you what it should look like. And so maybe you don't have exactly this type of glass. We're going to dispense another one. So this one here. Yeah, that looks good. So that's how it should look like typically, or how it looks like. And if there is an issue with the foam, so the foam is not stable or the foam is getting away, it's always a bit tricky to find out what is the reason for it. What in our experience, it can be also product related. What are the ingredients that you use? We even had cases where it came from the water, so but we never really, at this stage, we didn't find out the root cause about that. I just tell you general experience that it can be product related. So to have as a reference, it's always good either to use pure cold brew, or what we also do, sometimes we are using a product that is called Metil. It's a Methylcellulose, difficult to spell. You take 1 teaspoon in 2.5 liters of water, and you create foam water. And this gives you as a good reference that the machine is doing the right job. So if there is with these kind of, either with the cold brew or with this here, you have a nice foam, then it is really product related, and we have to find out what it is. In one case, I remember it was honey syrup that created problems. So probably could be also an issue there. So that was about creamer. Now I want to, let's say, check points that you can address from the front of the machine. I turn it a little bit. So on the front side, so there is the nitro switch that you can flip up and down. So, okay, on the top there is now coming a nitro drink, and at the back side there's no nitro drink. That's plainly, or that's clear to everybody, but sometimes it's even good to check when you flip off here to see, okay, is it really coming black or plain, right? So, because I tell you this, if there's a leakage on the back end of the machine and we are sucking in air somewhere, then we are getting still a foamy drink even if the nitro switch is toggled off. So it's flip a couple of times, and then we make the check if there is, let's say here, if there is, you can, as you see, so now that's how it should be, right? So there is no foam coming as the nitro switch is off, which is normal. If nitro switch off and still creating foam in the machine after a couple of tap flippings, then there's an air ingress from the back side. So this mostly results in too much foam, right? In too much head. So it's good to check this. Another point you can check is flipping the nitro switch on, and then I call it, let's say, kind of a bubble test. So sometimes topics like the machine has been frozen, or there is a back end, or there is some blocking of the pump or at the intake filter. You can identify about this if you have the nitro switch on, start to tap. So in this case, no liquid is coming, but still it's bubbling. I show you what I am talking about. So let's fill up the glass a little bit. It's also a good it's a good tip or a good practice to do all this with pure water. It's less dirty and less spillage around. So now I make a trick here. I disconnect the machine and so take everything out. So there's just, so now machine cannot suck any liquid as it's disconnected. But what it still does is the gas source is still open. Okay, and you see, you open the tap, and if you put it here in dip the nozzle in, it's making small bubbles. Okay, you can see it slightly bubbling up. So that's how it should be, right? If there is no bubbling coming, if in a no dispense situation, then that's something is not correct. Something is wrong. So probably then it's something with the air compressor or the gasification hose is for sure it's something inside that you cannot resolve in this case. So make sure there's a slight bubbling with dipping in the nozzle. Okay, so that's just a small trick. Okay, what else we can do from the front side? We have what I call a freezing topic. So I connect it again. So let's say this what it means freezing. So freezing is like, okay, there's no liquid coming at all, right? And probably you have filled the machine either in a cleaning cycle or you have filled it with non-alcoholic beverage. And if this thermostat is turned to maximum, right, it will go down to a temperature where it freezes up, right? And if this has happened, it takes a couple of minutes, but if you had the machine sitting there for, let's say, during a cleaning cycle or even with cleaning or with rinsing, and you had the temperature to its max point and you didn't and you were waiting too long, the machine can completely freeze up. In this case, you can't do anything, you just need to wait. But it can take up to 8 hours until it has melted up again. So leave it overnight, disconnect it from electricity, check again the next day. So what I'm talking about is machine has frozen, you're not sure is it frozen, but there's nothing coming out anymore. So I return it here because this is non-alcoholic stuff. So what you should do when you clean, return the temperature here, right? Or turn it completely off. Okay, during the cleaning phase. What is always good to test is what is about the nozzle. So this is the nozzle. There are two nozzle versions. We have a nozzle that is one single piece. So like that one, it's a plain nozzle or it's a single nozzle. But we also have a version where these are two pieces. Doesn't matter. Take this off and try if there is a dispense possible, right? So if this is flowing and before it was not flowing, so then the nozzle is blocked. I show you in a different video how to clean a nozzle. It's something I don't want to address now in this video, but I will give you a link for cleaning up the nozzle. So you need to clean the nozzle when nothing is coming out anymore with the nozzle on, but with the nozzle off, we have a very good flow rate, right? As you can see. Okay, then it's clear. Here is some blocking inside. Sometimes it's not super blocked, but there is flow rate is too slow. Then it's also the reason here in the nozzle. Flow rate is too small means there is a target flow rate. Let's see. And okay, it's getting a bit scientific. I make the nitro switch off and we have a timer. I'm putting this on 20 seconds. And I'm checking how long it takes to fill up this glass, right? That's a 200 ml glass and the target flow rate is 600 milliliters per minute. So 20 seconds should be the time when this glass is filled up, right? So when you're not sure is my flow rate right or wrong, just make this flow rate test. As I said, 20 seconds, 200 milliliters. So stop now. And okay, that's, of course, it's a perfect flow as it's a brand new machine. Good. Nozzle check, freezing check, nitro switch on off. These are the points that you can really check from the front side of the machine. And I will go now to the intake side, right? So let's turn it again a little bit. And I fill the product. I recycle this here, just as a showcase. So this, of course, we just do for this testing stuff, right? Okay. So we have the intake hose, and we also have here a filter in the machine. This is only the setup in the for USA. In most other countries, there's the intake hose where this filter element, it's the same filter, but it's sitting not in the canister, so it is part of the intake line. So then you see, mostly it's like this. Here is the filter close to the machine, and this is connecting to the lid of the canister. Okay. So in this case, you make the same procedure now with the opening, closing, checking the filter, but the filter is sitting outside and not inside here. So we do this now. Because of the filter being inside, it's always a little bit. Okay. So let's see. Okay, so what is this filter about? So it's protecting the machines against particles. So if you use cold brew coffee and the cold brew coffee has not been filtered properly, this can damage the pump or it can clog the nozzle. So there's a small filter here, and from time to time you need to open this and clean it, right? So as you can see, this is the strainer for the filter. And check for particles. If you find any particles here, clean it, wash it, rinse it, and then place it back. Okay. When you disconnect the filter string here from the intake hose, you have to remove these red clips here. So this is a, let's say, a security clip. Put it here, and then pull with 2 fingers and then you can disconnect it like this. Make sure when you put it back that you really push it tightly together. If this is not tightly together, it can suck in air at this point. So you must really click it in. Okay, it must really click, and then you can put back the retaining ring. Okay. What we also have seen or identified at the intake side sometimes is that here from the coupler, so that this O-ring here is damaged or is even broken or something, or is missing. In this case, we will give you the link in the video where you can source this part, a spare part. We can send it to you, but you can also buy it directly. I give the right dimensions in the link of the video or in the notes of the video. If the O-ring is missing, the machine will suck in air, and the foam quality, everything is mixing up, right? So that's important that the O-ring is good. If you have problems to push it in, you can lubricate here this with a silicone grease, and then it goes in smooth again. So same procedure here on this on the canister lid. So regarding this system here, you see there's a spring, and if you want to put it in, you just click. It's easy like that. Okay, let's clean up a little bit. Okay. So as I said initially, when we started with the video, in the machine there's about 400 milliliter of liquid sitting. So when this tank is getting empty, there's still some liquid inside, but it also means when you disconnect or when you give it a try, you have to flush the entire line to get it to the tap. Okay. One further point: if your machine is looking somehow like this, it's like collapsing. The reason for that is here at the top of the lid there is a small silicone valve, and you need to clean this from time to time, right? So it can be with the sugar in the Espresso-Martini, it can clog up or it can become sticky, and simply you pull it out with the finger, rinse it with warm water, and then click it back. And this will, and if this is working properly, your canister will not collapse, right? It will not be sucked or will not go under vacuum pressure. Okay, there is no, that's all good. Okay, so this valve, what I want to say, is a so-called ductile valve. Finally, let's say if you cannot resolve the problems with the machine, please get in touch with us. We will help you and get the topics resolved. And yeah, enjoy your Espresso-Martini. Cheers.